Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint-Germain family. Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe. The best player in the world. Our best player. Our most highest player. All of this. But has he really performed this season or has he not? That is the question that I will be answering in this video because, in my opinion, Kylian Mbappe has not met the standards I put for him this season, or no, any PSG fan has put for him this season. I completely cannot understand why Kylian Mbappe has been having issues this season. And that is why I made my research and I've come up with the final answer. So, jump in with me. First of all, obviously, this video was made after the game versus Newcastle, so I'm gonna look at some clips and bits from that game. Obviously, this was a lineup. Kylian Mbappe was like the left interior, the left striker, the left forward, sometimes alternating with Randal Kolomwani. But mostly, I would say, stayed in central spaces. For example, here, Paris Saint-Germain have a great counter-attack in the 12th minute. Why is Kylian Mbappe in a playmaking role where he has the ball deep and he's gonna give it to an outlet? He's the outlet. He's probably one of the best, if not the best outlets of all time. With his pace, trickery, and elite finishing, he shouldn't be in these zones. He should be here. He should be here ready for a pass from somebody. Next up, right here. Where is this? Why is Mbappe in these zones? It's the exact same thing. It's Kolo, Gonçalo, Dembele, and Hakimi here ready to make runs. Not Mbappe, because he's a playmaker in the system. And one bad thing really above that game versus Newcastle, and so far Kylian Mbappe's Champions League stats, he's only had 2.5 shots per game, which is his lowest tally of shots per game in the Champions League season ever. With Monaco, with Paris Saint-Germain, with different managers and everything, it has never been this bad when it comes to Kylian Mbappe. Obviously, he's only had one goal, which was a penalty. And when it came to the Newcastle game, he only had one shot, which was in the 85th minute with a random long shot where he just wanted at least a shot on target. He couldn't go away from that game. He couldn't leave St. James Park with only one shot the entire game. So I took a look at his stats from last season compared to this season. I didn't find that big of a difference. Sometimes it's an improvement this season, sometimes an improvement last season. So you can see goals 1.18 per 90 compared to 0.99 last season. Assists, obviously, he hasn't registered the assist so far this season. Shot creating actions a bit higher this season. Goal creating actions less this season. Dribbles a bit higher with a better percentage as well. And progressive passes received is absolutely the same. So Kylian Mbappe is scoring pretty much the same amount of goals, getting the same amount of chances, is creating a bit less, which it was extremely weird when I found out, and is receiving the ball, progressive passes received, exactly the same as last season. So again, what is the issue with Kylian Mbappe this season? I took a look at his heat map. He's pretty much in the same zones as he was in last season. Then I took a look at this, his FBRA staff. When it comes to the Champions League, and as you can see, stats are not looking great. Obviously, when it comes to the goals and so on, he hasn't scored that many goals. He has only scored one goal, which was a penalty, so they won't be that high. But I'm looking at these, so you can see his progressive passes yeah. So small differences, but again, really no huge, gigantic difference when it comes to Kylian Mbappe's game from last season and this season. And that is why I'll come now to the excuses. The excuses for Kylian Mbappe reported by the media, obviously his mouthpiece. Let's go through them. The first one was Kylian Mbappe's exclusion from this Paris Saint-Germain Japan preseason tour. And you know what? This is a valid point to some extent. Why? For example, I remember in the 21-22 season, Messi's first season at Paris Saint-Germain, Neymar didn't have a preseason, and that was by far the worst version I've seen of Neymar until he got injured. And then when he came back, he was actually back to being Neymar. But before that, He was ass. He was ass. So what this tells us is not having a preseason can definitely have an effect on your season. Second excuse, this knee injury slash ankle injury that he's been having, missing games with France, obviously coming out in that Marseille game. And they're saying that this issue reportedly is still concerning Kylian Mbappe and that he's not 100% fit yet. Again, somewhat a valid excuse. And the last excuse is that Kylian Mbappe has had to adapt his game in the Paris Saint-Germain team because of the absence of a playmaker like Neymar Jr. So first of all, we have a playmaker on the right-hand side, Ousmane Dembélé, who's been having like 6 key passes, 4 or 5 key passes per game, which is around the numbers of Neymar. So you could use maybe Dembele is having the Messi numbers, and now we need somebody on the left, which is actually a valid point because I mean, we don't have a playmaker there on the left side. That's why I'm waiting to see Nuno Mendes back in the squad, because I know he will be creating so much of that left-hand side, which we are waiting for, which we are needing. But going through all of these excuses, I come back straight to Kylian Mbappe. Because listen, sure, are those valid excuses to some extent? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. All 3 of them. And all 3 of them together is an even bigger issue. But I still don't take it. Because this is Kylian Mbappe. This is Kylian Mbappe. I don't get the excuse of him not doing it at that quality level or something. Just because of these, he didn't do that, he didn't do that. I want Mbappe to play better. But again, these are somewhat valid excuses which may give you an answer to why Kylian Mbappe has not been performing so far this season. And another point is Luis Enrique, Lucho, the manager of Paris Saint-Germain, new manager, first season. And listen, this playmaking role that Mbappe is playing, if it's Lucho that's telling him to do that, then it's a huge problem. Then Lucho needs to look at himself and fix this issue, because I've always said, if this is an Mbappe issue, he needs to fix it. If this is a Lucho issue, he has to fix it. The issue has to be fixed, whether it's Kylian Mbappe's or Luis Enrique. I want the issue solved as quick as possible, because we're 9 games in, already 2 defeats. I can't take any more defeats, and I can't take any more not good performances from Kylian Mbappe, our best player. So I'm looking at you, Lucho, and I'm looking at you, Mbappe. You gotta improve. But I have actually one valid excuse I could also use for Mbappe here, and that is his counterparts. These are his counterparts this season. They have 6 goals and assists so far this season. Gonçalo Ramos, Ousmane Dembélé, and Randal Colomwani. Dembélé, who's the playmaker, has only 1 assist, and then the rest goes for Colo and Gonçalo. And my thing here is, when your teammates are not being dangerous, the opposition will not care about them as much as they should. Because when I compare them to Messi and Neymar stats, by this end of the season, after 9 games, they had 31 goals and assists. 2 players had 31 goals and assists. 6 players had 6 goals and assists. I think that tells you a lot. That tells you a lot. I'm not saying we miss Neymar, we miss Messi. No, I'm just saying our players around Kylian Mbappe are not performing. So if I'm the opposition team, I'm like, yeah, I just got to get Mbappe out of this game, because Colo, let him have the ball. He's going to have a mistouch. Gonçalo, I mean, his dead movement is not going to create anything. And Dembele, I mean, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. That is the position we are in at the moment. There are these valid excuses reported by the French media. Lucho, first season, gotta fix his shit. And then this. His counterparts definitely need to fix their stuff. Randal Colomani, Gonçalo Ramos, and Ousmane Dembélé have to start performing at a much higher level. Again, all of these excuses are somewhat valid excuses, but the ball is in your court, Kylian Mbappe. We play Stade de Rennes, then you go international break. Let's have a one good lost performance before you go into international break. And that goes for the entire Paris Saint-Germain squad. I'm not trying to scapegoat Mbappe here or something, but this is our player. This is our best player. And it is very concerning that he's not performing well enough for us. It is extremely concerning, and I can't take more of it. We can't take more of it, and PSG can't take more of it. Lucho, Mbappe, his teammates, everybody get a fix up, all right? Nobody's a victim here. The only victims are the supporters, because what we're seeing we're not happy with. That defeat to Newcastle was absolutely disgusting. And Kylian Mbappe, for whatever reasons, had a stinker. Only one shot from Kylian Mbappe, 0 dribbles completed. I know he created the best chance out of the game, and I applaud him for it. But I don't want our best finisher to be giving the ball to our worst finisher. It's just illogical. So whether this is in Lucho's hands, Kylian Mbappe's hands, or his teammates' hands, you gotta fix up. It's that simple. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you guys Kylian Mbappe has been underperforming? And let me know if you think there's another excuse for Kylian Mbappe or another reason why he's not performing in the comments down below. That's been it from your boy PSGINT. And as usual, allez Paris.